Hi, Matt. How have you been? I see you have been working non-stop since our last get-together. What have you been doing?
Well, hi, it's been a while. Yeah, I've been really busy. Since we talked last, I released, I did the Ravers Inside the Outside. I released a heavy metal album called Matthew T. Mccourt, Everything Louder Than Motorhead. And then I got interested back into funk. I love funk music, and I've been on stage with George Clinton even before. Yep, really. I was at a Robin Trower concert in 1993 at the Roseland Theater. It was called the Starry Night then. And I saw somebody that worked for the promotion company, and I was talking to her, and she said, I got to go up to the Paramount to do the countdown for George Clinton. I said, I'd really like to be there. And she said, go to the backstage door. Give me 15 minutes. Go to the backstage door, and you're in. So I did. And they said, hi, Mr. Mccourt, we've been waiting for you. It's like, wow. And so this nice guy at the backstage door gives me a pass and walks me into the backstage area on the stage. And there's a party going on. There's a big party with a full bar. Everybody's in suits, dressed to the nines. They look marvelous. I had a pair of shorts on and a T-shirt. I was really underdressed. I was the only white guy backstage. And so I walked to the side of the stage left, and was watching the show. And pretty soon, George Clinton, he's a pretty big guy. He comes walking over. He sees me. Comes walking over, he bear hugs me, and backs up with me in his arms to the middle of the stage, the Paramount, with 3,000 people there. I always wanted to be on the stage and play there, but this will do. He walks me out there, he turns me around, and with a big sweep of his arm, kind of like says, well, what do you think? And I was just having the best time. The guy, the guitar player, I don't know his name. He had the guy he always wore a wedding dress or a diaper. And I think he was in the diaper that night. He starts, giving me five. And I started dancing. And, my favorite funk band is just blasting away behind me. They're all smiling and laughing. I was up on the drum stage hitting the cymbals with a drumstick. I was hitting the cowbell that was laying on the drum stage. It was awesome, man. I loved that. I just have loved funk my entire life. And in fact, the best money I ever made was when I would play with my friend Kurt Green, who's a really well-known keyboard player, singer. He has a Kurt Green band here in Portland, Oregon. And that started, man. We used to jam at high school dances and grade school dances and made like $500. And we didn't have a song list. We would just jam on funky music for people to dance to. That was like in 1974. And made better money doing that than I ever did with the Wild Dogs whole show. So, Kurt Green called me the other day. He's the only guy from high school that calls me up to say hi. I love that guy. His dad was a preacher, and the whole family lived in a church on Ainsworth. It was an old store that they had converted into a church, and I think they had like 6 kids. All the bedrooms were around the side. And I'd go over and jam with Kirk and his brother, and they lived in North Portland. And at the time, North Portland, you see, Portland was very segregated up to like 1969, and so the north area of Portland, Oregon, was designated for black people. In fact, it was illegal to rent a house or apartment to a black person outside of this area, which was like up to 15th Street and down south to Broadway. And so this was known as the black area. And man, the people over there were so nice, much nicer than in my area. where they wouldn't even talk to you. People in my area would stand there and wait in the store until you notice them so you can move your car. But over there, they just say, hey, I need to get by. And very polite. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, Kurt Green his dad was a minister and ran for office in here, but I digress. So anyway.
And your email says you have been making funk out.
I've been playing funk. I decided I was listening to Ice Cube, one of my favorite rappers. I love Eminem and Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre and Ice Cube, early stuff. And I was listening to the song Us, and it moved on to the Nappy Dugout. And there's a line in there that said, she's had so many nuts in her mouth, she looks like a squirrel. And so that's where that name comes from. I thought, Anthony Jeselnik, a comedian, he has a thing called Shark Party when a human gets attacked by a shark because it happens so rare. So when a human gets attacked by a shark party. And so my funny brain just decided squirrel party.
Squirrel Party. How did you come up with that name? I want to hear about this.
And I made some, good-looking women in AI. And then I do it all by hand. The computer just generates a picture. I have to cut it out. It's like playing with paper dolls. But I danced with them. And then I had a squirrel that came up to my porch. And came up to the porch, and it's like he was posing. So I grabbed my camera, my phone, and I took a picture of him. And from that picture, I made different squirrels, and it just evolved that way. And I've got videos with, squirrels dancing with the girls, and the girls hugging me and kissing me, and sometimes it's the only affection I get during the day. But I released 5 albums this way. I made the first one with vocals. Then I had a mix with no vocals, and I thought, this is good music just by itself. And you know what? People need instrumental music for videos. And it's not AI generated. It's all me playing all the instruments. And so I thought, hey, I need music for video in background. And I'll do that. And now it's at CD Baby and all the places. So you can actually license my songs from Squirrel Party. I have 5 albums of Squirrel Party. I just released the 5th one last night. And I got a couple drum things now, a thing called The Machine, and I also have Easy Drummer 3. Both of them are Machine Micro 3 and Easy Drummer 3, and so I'm working on beats. I'm on a Prince junket. I don't really like the radio hits that Prince does, but Prince in concert, man. Him or Bruno Mars, you can't beat them. And they are the funkiest people around. So I am going to be doing some stuff that's influenced heavily by them. But that's what I've been doing since the last time we talked. Thank you for having me.
Maybe we could license some of the music for the segments here.